Welcome to Learning Bites. We're looking at limiting words. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but it's also very obedient. And if you go and put limiting words on yourself, like the word can't, your brain goes, well, if we can't do that, it won't even bother trying. It won't even explore the option. When I was growing up, whenever I used that word as a kid, my mum would come back really fast and say to me, no such word as can't. You can do anything if you try hard enough. And what it forced me to do was it forced me to look at how might I do it. It forced me to get creative. It stopped my brain from shutting down and actually made it think. Years later, when I was at work, I had a boss who used a very similar phrase. He used to say there's no such word as can't. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. And he'd often say to people when they said, I can't do this, he'd go, okay, I understand you can't do it, but if you could do it, how would you do it? And of course, people would then go, well, if I could do it, I'd have to do this and do that and do that and do that. And they would come up with this solution. They'd go, that's a great solution. You should go and try that. When we allow ourselves to be creative, when we don't block ourselves and shut ourselves down, it allows us to stretch and grow as an individual, and it allows our brain to use its full functionality in exploring possible pathways and options. It allows us to be creative. You can see the power of this in many examples. One of my favorite being when Yoda is teaching Luke Skywalker and he uses that famous line of like, try not, just do. And it's the taking of action that makes a difference. As you go through this week, I really encourage you to focus around situations where you feel yourself shutting down, where you're not being as creative as you might be, or you're not being as purposeful as you might be. Observe, what are those situations? What happens where your brain's not as fully functional, not as at hand? And see what words you're using or what words other people might be speaking onto you in that situation. Because when you can learn to replace words, then you can find the power in realizing that when we put our brain to work, we can achieve anything. I love that phrase, nothing's impossible. The very word itself says, I'm possible. It all comes down to how you look at it, how you rephrase it. Here's to your success. Thanks so much for watching. If any of this resonated and you'd like to reach out, feel free to give me a call on 0272 987 523 or email me at mike@thinkright.co.nz. Or if you would like some additional resources, go to our website, www.thinkright.co.nz.